It's now July, so would you like to see an update on the garden? I'd like to share an update on how my garden is doing this year. So for starters, we had a little bit of an issue with the basil, and I have several different varieties of basil this year. I have like a cinnamon basil, and then there's a couple other varieties. So we had a little bit of a bug issue, which diatomaceous earth and neem oil are wonderful things. So they're starting to pop back really well. Here's my celery. As you may remember from last month's video, some of these I started from seed and some I actually purchased. And so I love seeing how well they're doing. Next, we have the kohlrabi. I have never had kohlrabi grow like this. I've actually been plucking off the leaves because it's just overtaking my garden. The unfortunate part is that it is not forming a bulb. So I'm not sure what's up with this variety, if it's the fact that we've had rain this year and not a lot of sun. But I did actually see one that was forming a bulb, although I can't seem to find it at the moment, but I'm hoping that this will still form a bulb. And then over here I have my cauliflower and broccoli, and this is actually really leafing out well. I have not seen any heads starting on my cauliflower, but my broccoli has a few. So like there's one. I have a really nice one over here. My lettuce is also not doing as well as I had hoped. We have harvested some of like the tricolor, so I don't know if it's our weather this year, a fertilizer thing. This is the butter crunch, so it's starting to come. It's just not as big and beautiful as I had hoped. Then my spinach is all gone, so I transplanted my stevia leaf. Here's our kale, which is finally starting to get a little bit of height on it. Behind that, we have the chives, which I actually pulled some of the flowers and made a chive vinaigrette. My dill is looking huge and amazing. And I'm sure I've got little caterpillars on it already, so make sure to watch for those. My asparagus is going to seed. My peas are doing well. Actually, I should pick these before I forget about them. So the peas are doing really well. They actually got quite tall. Down here are my ground cherries. And so if you've never had ground cherries before, they form like a little tomato here with like a little silk sac on it. And they're really kind of sweet. And I really like those. These are my zucchini, which I probably should have limited it to one plant on this side, but I actually have 3. And the interesting variety this year of the zucchini is they're little balls. So they get like 3 to 4 inches, and then you pick them, and then you can just scoop out the center, the seeds, and then you could bake them like that and do different dishes like that with them. So I'm kind of excited to try that variety, as maybe we won't end up with as much zucchini. Then for my garden towers, they're doing well. I have my nasturtiums and my morning glories in this one. And so those are looking good. My carrots are looking good. I just have to remember to like water these more often, as they don't get as much rain, because of the design, than they would if they were just in the ground. But the beets are looking good. My mints are crazy, and I have had a few issues with grasshoppers. So again, diatomaceous earth and neem oil have been really helpful. So this variety is called apple mint. This one is my chocolate mint. This one is an orange mint. This is a mojito mint. And down here I have my pineapple mint, what little bit is coming. And then here is my traditional peppermint. And for some reason, the grasshoppers are just loving this variety. You can just see how they're like shredding my leaves. So I have to keep putting stuff on there to try to deter them. And then my cucumbers, I see I got to get one more tied up over here. So my cucumbers are starting to trellis up. My peppers are doing well. These are the ones that I purchased. And then my onions are just crazy. I actually did like red onions on the outside. And so these stalks are massive. And then on the inside here, there's several different varieties. So I'm hoping it's not too thick. I was looking in here yesterday, pulling some weeds out, and it seems like everything is doing okay. And I still am excited to try my purple peppers. I haven't picked any yet. And then we have one lone sunflower in here that a squirrel decided to plant in there. My tomatoes are doing well. Again, the ones down the center are the ones that I purchased. The ones on the outside are the ones that I planted from seed. So it is cool to see, like, if you decide to purchase them ahead of time, or start them early enough in the garden. And then I did get a few more broccoli, and I planted them in the center of 2 of these rows. So figured why not get myself a little bit of extra broccoli. As far as my herb bed, my oregano is crazy. And then my Melissa or lemon balm is in the back. So I'll be starting to pick that and dehydrating it. My thyme is actually flowering here. And then I did squeeze in a couple cabbage. And I have another volunteer tomato plant. Then we've got my chamomile is starting to flower. I actually need to pull those flowers and start dehydrating those. My lamb's ear is doing well, and my lavender is doing pretty good. I still need to trim off some of this dead stuff, but I just wanted to make sure that nothing was going to grow further on that. The one bed that is shocking me the most is my potatoes. So these are reds. We love red potatoes, especially baby reds in the summer. But these plants were as high as the hoops in here, and we had a really bad wind come in and literally tip all of my pepper plants over. But so far, I have not noticed any potato bugs in here. So this is probably the healthiest batch of potatoes I have ever had. And it's so fun, like when I pull back the netting on some of these, we can actually start pulling back the soil. See if I can find one here. We had some red potatoes peeking out already. The size of some of these potatoes in here are crazy. So I'm going to be leaving these and for the full season until my plants die off. And then we're going to see what my yield is inside the garden bed versus my potato bags or my grow bags. So I hope you enjoyed that tour, and I'll give you another update in another month, as it's always fun to see how well these plants do in these raised beds versus vertical towers. Thanks for watching.